let's jump into the first video, which again is from Steven Crowder, which is titled Citizen Vigilante is #1 and the internet is going full retard. I haven't seen the movie Citizen Vigilante, but I will watch it soon. I'm sure Crowder is going to comment on it, so I'll understand what the movie is about. And of course, SNEAKO has an awful stupid take like he always does, so let's see what it's about.
Some retarded terrorist is going to be inspired by Citizen Vigilante, and Elon Musk is not going to bail them out of jail. The 2 Mexican catboy Nazis who tried to shoot up the San Diego mosque should have been enough of an alarm. The war on Islam is a war on humanity. No, Islam is a war on humanity. Why are they doing this? Allah. What is this? Jihad. What are you? Muslim. So you are doing this because I am a Muslim who follows Allah, and this is my righteous jihad. Okay. Now find me one statement from Mexican cartels who say that they're dealing drugs in the name of Catholicism. There's a movie out there right now that we covered. I believe, was it this week or last week?
Yeah, last week.
It was #1, I believe, on Amazon. It's been going straight to the top. And now there's backlash. Citizen Vigilante, right? That's up there, #1 on Amazon's charts. It also, by the way, was on X. Elon posted the full movie for 48 hours.
Which is awesome.
And for those of you who haven't seen it, like I said, objectively, it's not a well-done film. But the message is bold, and the message resonates with people. It's a man who goes out and basically starts righting the wrongs, delivering justice to migrants who are committing crimes, raping, killing, the people Europeans are tired of as their representation turns a blind eye. And
not just migrants too, by the way. There's parts of the movie where we assume the people who he's dealing justice to are whatever country it is, French citizens or whatever.
Yep.
Germany or France, something like that.
Well, it is back in the 70s where you had Death Wish, you had Dirty Harry. It was a crime wave problem. Now, those involved in said crime wave, especially in Europe, are largely migrants, largely recent migrants. So you just combine the backlash that you saw in late 60s, early 70s in the vigilante genre, the anti-hero genre, and then you add reality. People going, yeah, we're soft on crime. We're sitting ducks in what is supposed to be a westernized, civilized country. And who's responsible for the vast majority of it? Oh, people who don't share our values. So, of course, this has led to some backlash from some people. So there are some people out there saying that the film is propaganda from the Jews.
Oh, not
Jews?
again.
Yes.
Yeah, that it's just the Jews.
Yes, the first one. You got to love it. At least, right? At least these people are consistent, right? At least no matter how you spin it, everything comes back to the Jews. I will never, ever, 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 ever take responsibility for my life and the stupid things that I do and the life that I have that I don't actually want, because I'm never going to take responsibility for that because it's always the fault of the Jews. It's just an easy explanation for everything. And even though these people are so fucking stupid, at least they're consistent. At least they have that going for them.
Jews to make you dislike Islamic third worlders, because Christians and Muslims actually have a lot more in common than Christians and Jews or Christians and pretty much anyone other than Muslims. So the only way that this film could be made, or someone could say, I think we have a crime problem. Who's committing it? I think we have an incompatibility problem. Yeah, with Islam and the Western world. No, the only way you may think that is because a Jew tricked you.
No, Muslims haven't done anything themselves to make me think.
Never.
Right. No, of course not. It's
no.
No, that's stop.
Yeah, jihadism and Islam and Muslim, they're all just peaceful and they just want to coexist and they just want to, take on the Western values. They don't want to do suicide bombings or blow people up or shoot rockets or murder people or give women no rights. No, none of that. None of that. It's always the fault of the Jews. It's the Jews.
With your filthy Jew speak.
I mean, he went after a judge, too, in the film.
That's true.
Multiple judges.
Yeah, you also just killed a completely innocent guy for no reason.
What was that about?
So this was written on X. They wrote, a Jewish film produced by Israelis setting the white men against Muslims is what the establishment want you to watch. Don't you see that Tommy Robinson, funded by Israel, Gadsad, an Israeli, Rupert Lowe, a Zionist, are all part of the same psyop? Don't fall for the literal goy slop. Well, here's the truth.
Oh, man.
The film, written, produced by Uwe Boll and other, not only non-Jews, they're non-Jews and German.
Ooh, so the Germans are getting nationalistic again, huh?
Well,
Tough.
against the Islam.
Good for them. I'm glad. I'd be glad for I'd be glad across the board, unilaterally, for any nation other than Germany, where I get a little bit like, listen, can you guys handle the nationalism?
Good for you guys, but maybe just don't be the front runner here.
Yeah, exactly.
Listen, you're missing the opportunity here. They just need a creative outlet. We need to point them at Muslim countries, and all is well.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go. Well, they won't, because that's what the Jews want you to do.
Dadgummit.
Just think about this. This is how lazy it's become. I get it. AIPAC should go screw themselves with a wire brush. You were just on Alex Jones' show. We were talking about how Israel, risking the ceasefire, the agreements. Yeah. They were walking around, being little pissants, bothersome. I get it. But the idea that you could only objectively view the problem of waves of Islamic migrants, that you could only view it as a problem because a Jew told you so. Okay, I read the Quran. No Jew opened the pages. I did it myself. And you see these same stupid takes on this film. So it's, of course, the left.
Yeah, I mean, I said it's consistent, and that's true, but it's just so fucking tiring. Because there are so many people who do believe it, who believe that the Jews control the banks and the worlds, and everything is a psyop, and everything is a false flag. And so, people refuse to believe the truth. And then because of that, they start hating America, because Jews live in America and Jews now control America. And now they hate the country that they live in, and everything they produce now is anti-American. And so it's all ass backwards.
Left and the Marxist right. The left and the Marxist right. They don't want this. SNEAKO, who's barely walking upright, posted this on X. He wrote, some retarded terrorist is going to be inspired by citizen vigilante, and Elon Musk is not going to bail them out of jail. The two Mexican catboy Nazis who tried to shoot up the San Diego mosque should have been enough of an alarm. The war on Islam is a war on humanity. No, Islam is a war on humanity, as seen by the vast majority of terrorist attacks, the overwhelming majority, almost all of them, carried out in the name of Islam, as seen by 200 million Muslims across the world supporting violence against civilians. To be clear, that's a war against humanity. But he wasn't done with stupid takes. Here's more.
The same way that the cartel gangs are not Catholic, the Pakistani grooming gangs, which did happen, it's grossly over-exaggerated.
Pause. Rewind it. That was so mind-numbingly retarded that I want people to hear it again, but not take them out of context and finish the clip.
The same way that the cartel gangs are not Catholic.
Oh, my God.
The Pakistani grooming gangs, which did happen, it's grossly over-exaggerated. These people are not real Muslims.
Well, I would say one thing when it comes to this, I call it counter jihad. That's mostly what it's called, and it's mostly based in Europe. You saw that Rupert Lowe guy. He had a clip come out where he said that he disavows ethnic nationalism and he disavows this stuff. And
also, pause. Are we just going to skim past the term counter jihad like it's anything other than awesome? Yes, counter jihad. What's jihad? I'm counter that.
Yes.
I'd also take anti-jihad. Or jihad sucks.
Jihad.
Yeah,
I'm not pro-jihad.
Anything that says that we condemn jihad. I mean, SNEAKO will run cover for jihad all day because he's basically a jihadist and he thinks he's a Muslim and he's an idiot. But he has a massive following and a massive platform, and many young people follow him. And that's the dangers of growing a social media following like SNEAKO has, where you can just spout out lies and bullshit all the time. And there's no repercussions for your actions. At least people like Crowder are coming on here and debunking his stupidity. But yeah, it is what it is.
Draw 4, skip your jihad.
Yes.
Continue.
In the last section of the report, it talks about this global, Islamic caliphate that rapes, Sikhs and Jews and Christians.
Correct.
And predominantly Muslim countries. And it's so obvious what's happening here. It's just
they're telling the truth.
Talking points to, criticize Islam with that are mostly false to get a domestic base rallied up against Islam because the Zionists are really mad at Muslims.
The Jews.
That's
the Zionists.
All it really is.
The Jews.
Just to get
The
people
Zionists.
who are business-minded, nationalist-minded, who would be inclined towards a foreign policy to get really mad at Muslims because Muslim countries are who, we'll call it the Epstein class, the Zionists, the ruling elite are really mad at.
Okay, two things. First off, you can't do the Julius Caesar haircut. No one should do it other than Julius Caesar. It doesn't work. It didn't work for the Backstreet Boys. It doesn't work for you. I want to play the beginning of that video one more time because the false premise, and this was used by the left post 9/11, my entire life, it's really, really easy to dispel. So they start with a false premise and then migrate you to Zionist Jews. And some people go like, well, yeah, maybe I wasn't thinking critically. Let's start off with the false premise one more time.
The same way that the cartel gangs are not Catholic, the Pakistani grooming gangs, which did happen, it's grossly over-exaggerated. These people are not real Muslims.
Okay, stop. All right, let me explain to you the difference. The same way those cartels are not Catholic. Okay, here are the charters and or official statements of, let's start with ISIS. We will conquer your Rome, break your crosses, and enslave your women by permission of Allah, the Exalted. This is his promise to us. Hamas. The day that enemies usurp part of Muslim land, jihad becomes the individual duty of every Muslim. Muslim Brotherhood. The movement, Islam, must plan and struggle to obtain the keys and the tools of this process and carry out this grand mission as a civilization jihadist. Here's part of the UK grooming gang testimony from the victim. They believed they had a position of religious and moral superiority over non-believers. They believed it was their duty to punish us. As you see, that would echo Hamas, Muslim Brotherhood, ISIS, as they believed that doing so made them good Muslims. Okay, so we went through Hamas, Muslim Brotherhood, ISIS. You could probably do Hezbollah. You could take the words from the Muslim rape gangs themselves. Why are they doing this? Allah. What is this? Jihad. What are you? Muslim. So you are.
It's the promise of martyrdom. This is what their religion encourages them to do. You talk to any ex-Muslim and they only agree with the statements that Crowder is making. But then you have people like SNEAKO and now Tucker Carlson who want to run cover and say it's not as bad and it's because of the Jews and they're just resistance fighters. Are they really terrorists? And then they blow up another fucking building. Or, you know, marry another fucking 9-year-old or whatever the case may be.
Doing this because I am a Muslim who follows Allah and this is my righteous jihad.
No, boo. Internet. Dang.
Tard.
There we go.
It's so stupid.
I know.
Sorry for the language, but I remember I had a teacher in the 8th grade. I got sent to the office. I said, are you kidding me? Are you kidding? Just like all Christians, you know, you don't say, you know, Carl, we had Carl Hamalka on my show. Carl Hamalka, so all Christians are guilty. What? 8th grade. I believe it was 8th. I said, what?
Close enough.
Did they say they were doing it in the name of Jesus Christ? They were doing it. And by the way, do you have hundreds of thousands or millions of more examples throughout history? Certainly many, many thousands of examples of the jihadists themselves and millions of examples of people who support it. So even if you could find one quote from some cartel saying, I do this in the name of Jesus, you still wouldn't find millions of supporters saying, yeah, sometimes it's okay to deal fentanyl in the name of Christ.
If it's in the correct community, apparently.
Oh, is this another skit? I hope it is. Or it's an ad. I don't know which one it is.
Some things are
It's
out
an
of your
ad.
control.
That's a nice suit.
You too.
.com/Crowder.
These guys, listen, you saw the two things that he did. One, that these are not real Muslims. Well, who gets to define that? They're coming from Pakistan, a nation that was set up by Muslims to make sure that they had a religious state for themselves. Okay? They're coming from that ancestry. It's not like some guy from America who just converted.
Yeah.
They're real Muslims. And also that the report was exaggerated, grossly. There's no evidence of that. There are claims. There's no evidence of that. He's trying to minimize everything and push it to the side. And then tell me that they're going to be honest, even if those two things were actually true. Let's say that the report wasn't exaggerated, and these guys are practicing Muslims. All of the tenets of Islam met, done. They're praying every single time they're supposed to pray. They're giving alms to the poor, whatever percentage they're supposed to do towards Muslim causes, of course. All of that. Are you still going to say that they're not really Muslim? Because you're just going to lie to Americans and hope that they...
Yes, of course they're going to lie because they can't. They don't want to admit the fact that I want to say their whole religion is based on that, but the doctrines state these things will get them to martyrdom, will get them to paradise. And so, of course, their religion is based on these types of ideals, but we have to be honest about it. We have to be honest about the terrorist attacks and who mostly does them. We have to be honest about the grooming gangs and the rape gangs and who is doing them and what immigration policies we need and how to assimilate into Western values and what Western values actually are and how to produce a flourishing society where people are free and can practice, yes, their religion, but with some constraints around that under the guise of Western values.
They believe it?
Well, by his standard, Muhammad was not a real Muslim. So, great, we get it. It's not a real religion. Stop following the imaginary, stupid, goofy, dumb religion. Let's go on to Europe! By the way, people think, no, I'm not debating any of these silly little bastards. He was invited on. I watched the moment on his, I always do prep. SNEAKO wanted to come on. We said, okay, we're very polite. Lane the Brain reached out. Wild. His chat was like, dude, you don't want this. You don't want, you're going on Crowder. You are not ready. And then he wanted my personal cell phone number. Like, can we talk beforehand? No, time's up. Window closed. All right.
Come take
your We'll debate other people for.
Yeah, SNEAKO doesn't know shit about fuck. He debated Nick Matau, and Nick Matau embarrassed him for about 2 hours. SNEAKO's chat said the same thing. And Nick Matau just embarrassed Myron Gaines. And then these people will take the live stream, edit it, clip it, produce it in a way that seems like they won, and then they'll create like a crazy YouTube title saying that this guy got destroyed in a debate. It's a psyop. It's like SNEAKO and Myron Gaines and all these fake masculine dudes who cosplay as strong dudes or smart dudes just get wrecked when they get actually debated with or picked apart their talking points or whatever the case may be. If they sit on the stream for 8 hours with no pushback, of course, what they say might sound legit, but it's not.
It's appointed to a man once to show up here.
You could debate him and ask him which one is grossly exaggerated, the Epstein files or the Pakistani grooming gangs.
That's yes.
Or is it only one of them?
Yeah, and I would say, I'll debate you. Hey, in the middle of him making his points, I'd go, what do you think about this? That's Muhammad.
You know what he looks like? He looks like the blue Monstar from Space Jam.
Nice. He does the real
after they lose the juice.
Wait, the juice?
Yeah, after they lose the juice.
Oh my gosh. By the way, and just to be clear, I get everyone can have different opinions. I understand it on Israel. They can be reasonable opinions, and we get flack from both sides. We get people saying, "I don't like that you're anti-Semitic now. What's Israel?" But I will say this: if you actually believe that a critical view or a negative view of Islam in 2026 can only be due to Jewish or Zionist propaganda, if you actually believe that, I don't want you watching. I don't want you watching. You are not capable of critical thought.
Yeah, because you're an idiot.
You can even say that Zionists or Jews would have a vested interest in people being continuously angry with Muslims. Okay, sure. But to say that that is the only reason that a human being, a non-Muslim in 2026, can see some faults with that religion, but my preference, go watch someone who feeds you the dumb shit that you want to hear.
I don't need a Jew to tell me I don't like the call to prayer.
Yeah, go listen to Candace Owens or Tucker Carlson or SNEAKO because you're not a reasonable, critical thinking human being. Because the reason people are critical of Muslims and Islam and jihadists is because they're a threat to humanity. That's why.
Blasting in the city at 5 a.m.
I know.
I don't need a Jew to tell me that. I have ears.
Because these people, the culture, you lived it.
Because these people are trying to tell you we're the psyop. They're the ones being genuine. Nothing to see here as it relates to Islam. Hey, if you're still watching this,
great video from Crowder. Just straightforward to the point. Just yeah. And SNEAKO is an idiot. Like that is clear as day. He is an idiot. But if you want to run cover for terrorists, I guess be my guest. But that means you have no critical thinking and you don't actually care about the flourishing of people or our society. So